do this.
Yo, Thought Warriors. What is up? Higher Learning is on. It is Ivan Lathan Jr.
And it's me, Rachel and Lindsay.
This is Rachel Lynn Cheknikov of the Leninist, Stalinist.
Oh, you like it?
I love Marxist Rach. Put a Donnie.
This makes me Marxist. That's what people are saying. The other side of it.
Donnie, put a beret. Put a beret on. I guess it wouldn't be a beret.
It wouldn't be a beret because they're calling me. They're saying I'm MAGA.
MAGA
They're
Rach?
saying you know
this.
it's so funny because you can't. I'm on this podcast. I'm told that I will. It doesn't matter what. When it's a black woman, I'm there, and I will fiercely defend them and put down everybody else. Then when I have a different take, it's, oh my gosh, you'll love it, Van. She's a bed wench.
Oh,
they love that one. She's an Uncle Tom.
I'll be real. Bed wench hit hard, bro. Bed wench is one of the ones.
It's just, you know, sometimes when things are like so low brow, it's like I can't even give it. I always tell people, I'm like, you gotta come harder than forehead jokes and she's white jokes, because I've been doing that shit for years. You gotta, if you wanna like really get to me and hurt me, it's gotta be some stuff that, like, that's so not true. Well, I mean, the forehead, you have a big forehead, but then it's just like, it doesn't faze me. You gotta come, you gotta be better. You gotta be more creative.
We can't be Lenin and Engels. We can't be Marx and Engels. We can't be.
But you like this, so I
don't like this at all. I don't like the disrespect.
No, I know you don't.
Yeah.
You really do have like
I don't like the disrespect. Fuck that disrespect. Fuck that shit. I like them. What I like is the overall. I like this tension in the stack. Just let you guys know. Obviously, I think this is healthy.
This is obviously us talking about comments about Jasmine
Crockett.
Jasmine Crockett clip that segment that we talked about, clip that was on social that really had people riled up about because the clip is just my take on it about
Jasmine Crockett in Texas. Should we? So there are a couple of things here I think people are either, because the clip broke containment a little bit. It didn't go crazy, but it broke containment a little bit. And
discussions. I had a lot of people say, hey, people hit me up about you.
Right. A lot of people hit me up about you as well. I think it's important to iron out a couple of things just for the sake of the discussion. Number one, you're from Texas.
Yeah.
So when people are coming at me, because a lot of people is like, yo, why you in Texas business? I'm not in Texas business.
Yeah, you said that on the last podcast.
Yeah, I'm not in Texas business. Rachel is from Texas, and
yeah, I'm from Texas. My family still lives there. And they're sprinkled all throughout Texas. My friends are there. My community is there. My nephews are there. I only have 2 nephews. They will grow up in Texas, which means they are highly impacted by the future of Texas, both the present and the future of Texas. Alistair and Hendrix. So when I talk about this, I'm not doing it for clicks. I'm not doing it because Jasmine Crockett is somebody who usually trends and that's guaranteed a response in any kind of way. That's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I'm invested in it. And I feel like it's personal to me. I'm passionate about it. And I feel like a lot of people who are having this discourse about Jasmine Crockett, James Talarico, got the names right on this podcast, you don't have a vested interest in the state of Texas like I do. And not only that, I grew up in the very district that Jasmine used to represent. Obviously, we know with redistricting, things have changed, but I grew up in that district. She currently represents the district where my family members live. Like, I don't live there, but I am very invested in it. That's why I'm paying attention to the race. It's home.
Yeah.
I'll be there next weekend.
It's home. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm not doing this just like I don't do anything, and neither do you, just for show. We're doing it because it's something we're interested in. We want to talk about it. Oh, Van. Maybe not Van.
I don't do anything just for show, but I do things for entertainment.
That's different.
But nothing that comes out of my brain is for entertainment. But obviously, if I'm making like a comparison between The Wire and that's for entertainment.
But
That's
you also like believe in. You're not doing it for show. Is my point.
Yeah,
like,
we don't do that
like maybe
here.
a whiteboard is for show. Maybe
exactly.
That's for show. But like we talk about topics that are of interest to us or that are viral within the community. It's like what we put on for the show. But that's not what this is for me. It is very personal, and it's shocking to me. I'm not expecting everybody to know every single thing about me, but I'm surprised people don't know that I'm Texas.
Well, I don't think that anybody that listens to us and is faithfully doesn't know that you're Texas. I just think that there were some people that might have been talking to me.
We had a conversation both with the same person who did not know I was from Texas.
Oh, that is what the fuck?
Was that the start of our podcast?
What? Oh, yeah. So,
Jade, calm down over there.
So, that didn't know that it was a Texas thing, that didn't know like how invested you were into this and the reasons why. Mm-hmm. And so to me, when we're talking about this, it would seem, it might be on another podcast, that Jasmine Crockett or this particular race or James Talarico or whatever, that there was some laser focus or picking on or something of in that nature. But like, I think this being where your parents still live and the state and something else. Hold on real quick. I'm not going to speak too much about Texas business, but Texas wasn't always like this. And if you're I would imagine, let me ask you, if you are a Texan of a certain age, someone that can remember when Ann Richards was the governor of Texas, when Texas was a little bit more purplish before it became a deep, deep red, almost the seat of MAGA, honestly, a MAGA stronghold.
It's become that.
Yeah, it's one of the states. Louisiana, I'm not trying to joke here, but like Texas is one of those places to where, hey, you're leaving one of your failing Democrat states, move to Texas, move to Florida. Texas and Florida are probably those two types of places, right? And I wonder, for you, is the opportunity to change the trajectory of your state, I can never say that word, is how deeply personal that must be. How personal is that?
Well, I mean, like, you also have to look at how I was raised in it. I grew up, my dad is not an elected official, but my dad was in city government, in city government as the city attorney. Uh-huh. My dad was appointed by Clinton my dad was the first black city attorney in Dallas. My dad was appointed by Clinton to be first black federal judge in the Northern District. I was around politicians. One of my dad's good friends, Ron Kirk, first black mayor, city of Dallas. Okay. Like I was around City Hall a lot. Like I knew the names of city council members. I knew, like, my dad going to the University of Texas for law school. Just going back to that, seeing who all is connected, whether they're on the Texas Supreme Court or elected courts within the state of Texas. Like, I just grew up around it. And so I remember meeting Ann Richards.
You met her?
Governor of Texas. I remember the feeling of, oh my gosh, I am meeting a governor and she's a woman. I can recall those things. Like, my dad will always tell stories. He was like, you're always just fascinated by these people's names. I've never wanted to be a politician, but I was so around it. My school was in downtown Dallas. My dad worked at City Hall, which was in downtown Dallas. So after school, I would be at his office a lot. I would see certain things. So for me, even though necessarily my parents aren't, and my parents are like community involved, because obviously part of getting elected specifically by the black community is being involved in black churches. Mega churches are a huge thing in Dallas. I go to one of the mega churches in Dallas, grew up at a small church, but still, like, your friends go to these mega churches. It's just like, there's just such a community there. And, despite how y'all met me on The Bachelor, I grew up from Oak Cliff. Yes, I went to private school, but I lived in a black community. Mm-hmm. I went to black church. I was very involved.
You don't owe them this, right?
I don't owe them this, but maybe for the people who don't understand me. Right. But I am understanding of people meeting me on a Bachelor, which is a white show, and The Bachelor was white. Then me becoming The Bachelorette, still a white show, and picking somebody who's not white. So I get that's people's first knowledge of me. So I don't get mad at that. Where it gets frustrating is that's the only thing that defines me when I've been doing this podcast for 6 years. I know not everybody listens, but things that I've stood for when it comes to The Bachelorette, or The Bachelor, that franchise, things I've spoken out on this podcast, and even me now just talking about my upbringing. That's why, you're right, I don't owe them that. I'm just trying to give more understanding to where the passion comes from. Like when I say these things on this podcast, I'm having conversations with community leaders in Dallas. I'm talking to some of my sorority sisters who are very connected throughout Texas. And not even considering Delta, like community service and political awareness and involvement are pillars of being a Delta. So like that's stuff that I've been doing since college. So yeah, like it's different for me. And if this was Louisiana, I'd be a little bit more quiet and you would be more vocal because you're more heavily invested. Mm-hmm. But I think that, and you were saying this, well, let me let you finish, because you were saying there's certain things that you wanted to set out in regards to this discussion, and the first thing is that I'm from Texas.
Yeah, I mean that's the first thing. So the first thing is that Rachel's from Texas. Like being that she's from Texas, this is something that is incredibly important. And just while we're talking, let's widen the aperture here. We're having conversations about a lot of things at the same time. One thing we're having a conversation is about people versus person. And I always talk about that, people versus person. But that's important. I shouldn't just gloss over the fact that the protection of individuals in our goal to be a more cohesive community is very important, right? I've said it before. We've talked about it before. It's the reason why, I'll continue to bring up Colin Kaepernick is because we can't protect black people unless we protect black person, right? That's very true. I believe that. I believe it so strongly, and I want to give examples and deepen it and talk for 55 hours about it, but I'm not going to be long-winded. I understand that. I will say, though, that, there is something else that we have to be concerned with. It's a difficult conversation. It's not an easy one because it takes discernment to have this conversation. We are all black, but we are not all the same. Some of us are imbued with power. Some of us are imbued with wealth. Some of us are imbued with a great mandate to use that power and that wealth to serve other black people. And there are different ways that we have to look at those people. We talk a lot about the black community as this cohesive thing, but it sometimes pains us to talk about intra-community dynamics. Yeah. We've dealt with those pains as podcasters, black woman, black man. Sometimes it's difficult for us to talk about the rich of us, the poor of us, the gay of us, the straight of us, the woman of us, the man of us, and now it seems like because of some of the abuse and some of the disappointments that we've seen over the last decade, it's getting tough to talk about the politicians of us. Mm-hmm. Like, we see ourselves in the elected officials that represent us. They sound like us. They walk like us. They talk like us. They want us to believe that they are us. And energetically, as human beings, they are. These are people with names that we understand, with stories that we understand, with experiences and backgrounds that we understand. But guys, in function, they're just not us. Yeah. They're not us. They're not us. And it's in function, they're not us. In soul, in community, in energy, they might be. A lot of them not. They might be, but in function, they're not us. In function, what they are people who have made the decision of themselves and been entrusted with a tremendous burden. And that burden is to go out and make black people's lives better, to champion and to fight for black people. And there's a threshold and the standard. This has nothing to do with anybody individually. What I'm talking about is a larger conversation around the fact that we need to stop falling in love with these people. We need to stop falling in love with them. I'm not saying we can't love them, but we can't fall in love with them. We can love them. You can love any leader or whatever, but don't fall in love. Falling in love is the type of thing to where you sacrifice a part of yourself to keep that love going. That's
cult mentality.
Right. Well, so that is my thing. And I've been trying to have this conversation and talk to everyone about this for a while. For me, at least, we have to be able to call balls and strikes, and we have to also be self-critical. And I've had to learn how to be better at being self-critical in these moments so that I don't come off like I'm preaching or teaching to somebody. But, man, if somebody is a change agent and they say that they're a change agent and they say that they are putting forth, they want to go out there and they want to fight, I expect them to fight.
Yeah.
And once again, I'll say this. This is not about Jasmine Crockett. This is about anyone that like would be in that situation and be beholden to a foreign interest or takes money from the wrong people or doesn't go about it the right way. We have to be free to have those kind of conversations.
Well, we have to be free to have honest conversations, which we've talked about on the podcast. And it's honestly why I've been nervous to have this conversation in particular about Jasmine, because I know how emotionally invested people are. And I'm not saying that those emotions aren't rightful, but sometimes those emotions can cloud you looking at the bigger picture. Because in the conversation that you and I had last week, to be very clear, there was no particular attack on Jasmine by either one of us. Neither one of us said that Jasmine had a duty to do anything. Neither one of us said that she owed James Talarico anything. And nobody said, or anything that we talked about was about her or asking her to be a quote, because this is something that I keep seeing out there, a mule for the Democratic Party. Nothing that we said was that. I knew what we talked about would be controversial because, as I just said, a lot of people are emotionally invested, and because of how the online discourse has continued to debate Jasmine and James, despite the primary being done in March. But when I look at the response that people are having, as a person who's very concerned about the present and the future of Texas, I'm very fearful that this upcoming race is going to kind of be tainted by people who can't vote in Texas or aren't personally invested in Texas.
Oh, you telling people to stay out of Texas business?
Well, of course, because I think that there's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of things that I think people aren't paying attention to when it comes to the particulars and are focusing on one thing rather than I'm saying like the bigger picture. And I'm so afraid that it's going to disenfranchise the Black community from voting, because the energy that they may have had for voting for Jasmine Crockett is really being depleted by a lot of this online discourse about James. And really, it's about a lot of the people who are fighting for him online, who, again, have no stake in any of this, rather than listening to some of the people who are actually in Texas and who are telling you some of the honest things that are happening when it comes out to that. That's why when it comes to that, that's why when I talked about Jasmine, rather than being personal, I wanted to use her own words. Despite what Jasmine Crockett said in that clip that we played on the podcast, it's not that people are talking, or I'll say us, it's not that we're talking about her and making it about her. It's I'm responding to that statement that she made because previous multiple statements completely contradicted. And to your point, what you said at the end, if it's about the people, it's about the people. So the day of the election, the primary, this interview was published. It was probably a few days before. But she was asked about would she campaign for Talarico. And she said, and this is different from the other statement that I read, she said, absolutely, that's a quote, if Talarico won the nomination, she said, the reality is that it has to be bigger than any single individual.
When was that statement made?
It was published March 3rd. So It was before the results.
Okay. Now, let me ask you a question.
Can I finish reading the statement, though?
Oh, yeah, my bad.
The reality is that it has to be bigger than any single individual. This is about us winning. That is what it's about. And when I say us winning, I mean us as Texans. Now, go ahead.
Is it, you say March 3rd?
Mm-hmm. It was published March 3rd, so probably a couple days before.
Okay. Is there a possibility that statement could have been made before the race got particularly contentious and Jasmine Crockett or her team or people have been subjected to either what they believe to be a lot of fury from people who are Talarico supporters or what they think is covert hate and harassment from the Talarico campaign?
Well, this was published March 3rd, which was the day of the election, like
the day of the election.
Yeah,
so
the day of the election.
So I just want.
It was probably around that time. No, I know what you're saying. Go ahead.
I want no. I want to speak for people who might say, yeah, she might have felt like that, but she can change her mind.
And and she can change her mind, and I want to get to that point too. She can change her mind, but to your point about what she had been subjected to, that was when she was being rumored to run, when she threw her name in. From the moment she threw her name in, she was unfairly stereotyped. Like we saw it happen. People attacked her relentlessly online. Even after she lost, she was getting attacked. That is definitely something that is true. And to your point, she can change her mind. But the comment that she made is so important, and I think it's right. It is bigger than the individual. It really is about winning because what's at stake for Texas. And to win, it requires you to unify. And she's like, that's why it's about us. This is her statement. It's about Texans. This is why I was using her words, because what she's saying is right. And the reason that people are focusing on what she said last week when asked, will you support? Same question she was asked 3 months ago, actively support. Because people were like, she said she would support him. This is what people are saying since the clip came out. She said she would support him. She said she endorsed him. Right. But the question is, will you actively support earlier? She said, absolutely. She explains why. When she's asked 3 months later, she says, I have no idea. That is what I'm focusing on because of what she talked about. It's about us winning. It is about the bigger picture. And you're right. She has her full right to change her opinion. Yeah, she could change her opinion because of how she was attacked, which is a lot of people say. She can change her opinion for all the things people are saying. It's not her duty. She doesn't have to. She doesn't want to. Let them do the work. All of that is true. But I guess what I can't get past is it's not making it about her, right? If you have dedicated your time and your energy to supporting your constituents and the people of Texas, and particularly the people who look like you, your Black community, why would you keep your foot off the gas? Now, and two things can be true, right? I'm not saying that that James Talarico should not work for the Black vote. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We should continue to hold him accountable for that. But that also doesn't mean that we just stop and we don't continue to fight and energize the base, and particularly a non-vote would be a vote against your interest. And I think that's some of my biggest frustration is you are a public servant. You've dedicated most of your career to being that. So why would that stop now? It shouldn't stop because it is about the bigger picture. It is about wanting the best for us in the state of Texas, which is not the other side of it. And I can run down for people who aren't aware of Ken Paxton. All you need to know is he is a fiercely loyal Trump supporter, and he will support him at all costs. And you know at this point what supporting Trump means. And even particularly when the state of Texas, he's a very corrupt individual. He has been indicted for a felony. He has been impeached even by members of his own party, but he is anti-DEI. He supports abortion bans, which have directly impacted Black maternal health. He is a staunch supporter of redistricting. He's an election denier. He has filed lawsuits to do things to dilute the Black vote in other states. Like, he is so anti-Black.
Right. Okay. I love it. You're getting into it. Can I?
Go ahead.
Okay. So you said something earlier. And by the way, guys, I took a mushroom this morning. I don't know if you guys been like noticing. I've been a little bit more mellow, a little bit more clear.
What kind of mushroom?
I took some mushrooms.
How many milligrams?
I'm not sure, but I took like 3 of them. They say you can take 3.
Pill or gummy?
It's a gummy. They say you could take 3.
What's the brand?
I can't remember, bro. It's like mushroomniggas.com.
Are they the ones that
it might be. They up by your crib, like.
Oh, you went to the store?
Yeah. Okay, so.
Oh no.
So I'm clear, and I'm thinking totally dope.
I cannot believe you took 3 of those.
All right, so look.
It's only gonna get worse.
So look, you said something earlier, and you said we have to keep our foot on the gas, right? I wonder, because I talked to Reese, I talked to a couple of other people. People were blowing my phone up about this. People were blowing my phone up about this. I wonder if they feel like they've been, and when I say them, I'm saying Black women, some Black women, if they feel like they've been kicked out the car.
Why?
Well, So this is the deal, right? Foot on the gas, kicked out the car. Like, I wonder if they feel like they've been kicked out the car. I think, like, and
the reason I'm asking you why is not because I don't understand. I'm asking you why because are they saying it in particular to this race and maybe Kamala? That's what I'm asking you.
So I think there's a response and a reaction. And the response is to some electoral trends that we've seen. Ignoring some other black ladies that have been elected, we should say that there've been some victories, but there've also been some pretty high profile defeats, where it seems as if that the will is not with the Democratic base to empower black women yet. Like, they don't want to do that. And I say yet, but who knows if they ever will. And that if we want black women in power, the only way to do it is to actually, like, punish the base a little bit. I'm speaking for people. I'm not saying that anyone told me this. But that because Kamala lost, there's going to be a when I was on the phone with Reese said Great White Hope.
Yeah, she said Great Hope
several different times, right? And I thought that was interesting that she continued to say that. First of all, I like to say I have a tremendous amount of respect for Reese Colbert. We do not agree on this issue. We had a conversation that was cordial but adversarial, but I believe that she remains a pretty vital voice in all of this.
Which is why we both had separate conversations with her.
Yeah.
And I told her, I'm calling you because I respect your opinion.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to have a conversation with her.
I mean, she indicted us. Like, we should say that, like, she posted on the the Instagram, and her post was an indictment of the show.
Yeah, she kind of walked it back a little bit when I was talking to her.
Well, the indictment of the show is not fair. She agreed. I don't think the indictment of the show is fair. I don't think the indictment of the show holds any water whatsoever. I think she's dead wrong, and I thought it was needlessly divisive and inflammatory. But I've been there, so I know it. So it happens. Like, if what the message on the show said was like, we would think this, or you would think this, because we had Keith Edwards on. We platformed Keith Edwards.
It wasn't just even platform. It was we platformed the guy who's led a racist online attack against Jasmine, which is not what we did.
Right. So, but even if we put him on the show. So,
but why? To talk about how he is with black women.
But even more than that, there's even more context to that, in my opinion. We put him on because he was using things that were said on this show to amplify and underscore things that he was saying. So we wanted to have a conversation, not even as much about politics, but about the way that we exist in solidarity and cultural translation. So you know that it don't matter how right you are, talk nice to black ladies, right? You know what I mean? So I mean, that's a deal. If you don't think that that's a thing, then we can fight when we see each other in terms of that. Not with no hands. I fuck Keith up, but I'm just joking. I'm not gonna fuck you up, Keith. Maybe Keith will fuck me up. Keith might be taking like Krav Maga. You never know. What if that nigga Keith just kick me dead in my shin, bitch? But what's that? What you thought you were gonna but no. So
get back to
while I didn't think that was fair, I think that what I'm talking about as far as being kicked out the car relates back to that. It relates back to that because I could tell in our conversation that there was some frustration there. And the frustration might come from the fact that now what you're going to see is the Democrats probably center and promote the whitest milquetoast candidates that they have. You're going to get James Talarico, somebody that can stand there and like respond to and connect with white voters in Texas. You're going to get Graham Plattner in Maine. No matter what we learn about Graham Plattner, he's going to stand there, fill out the cable knit sweater, and talk to the farmers in Maine and say, hey, I'm an oyster farmer and I'm just like you, and listen to what she's saying and blah, 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 blah. And he's going to succeed. Whereas every single idiosyncrasy of any black woman that would have run in that situation, fuck having a Nazi tattoo, having any tattoo. Right? Like any idiosyncrasy for a black woman is going to be pulled apart. And I understand that frustration.
Yeah.
I totally get it.
Yes.
This is what I would say. Is all of that, everything that we're talking about, is that worth one black mother dying during childbirth.
Yeah.
Like, just, y'all, we all on the same page. I love y'all even when y'all don't like me. Straight up. Is everything we're talking about, all of it, is it worth one black mother dying during childbirth?
Mm-hmm.
Because along with a politician comes policy. Now, James Talarico is very cynically, in my opinion, including some things in his platform, maybe not cynically, but very deliberately.
Well, why wouldn't he?
He has to reach out to the black community. So he has now a black maternal mortality.
So it's like, you can't complain, right? You can't be like,
guess what?
oh, well, now you want to talk about black maternal health. Well, who gives a fuck? He's talking about, hopefully he implements it.
Hopefully he does. But what I'm saying is, let's say that things weren't done to get not that man elected, but that policy enacted.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be willing in a year to have someone, a black woman with a baby inside of her?
Mm-hmm.
Would you be willing, let's say it's not 1 year, let's say it's 5 years, whatever it is, would you be willing to have her life snatched by doctors who aren't listening to her, by doctors who don't understand how to care for her, for her not having access to care because of all of this? Is that worth it? Is that actual thing that can happen to somebody worth this fight? And by the way, that answer might be yes. And that's the part that we never talk about. We always talk about the people that have to be free, but we never talk about the people that have to be fucked over because we want to act like we don't do that. But the fuck if you don't, nigga? You do. You do it all the time. You do it all the time for the people that you like, for the side that you've chose, and for the house that you are walking into. You do it all the time. You fuck people over.
Yeah.
And the question is, from a political standpoint, if we're trying to care for people, free people, educate people, make sure they have what they need, how can we stop fucking them over? How can we put people in place that implement policy that has a lasting, meaningful difference? And last thing I'll say, because this is not my fight, this is yours. How do we center these arguments not on our feelings, right, but on our future? Man, like, it can't be both. Fascism is this corrosive, all-encompassing, we gonna lose it all thing, but also your feelings are hurt. Like, I guess it can be, but fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, either I'm starting to not to under. Either we under the rule of fascism from another planet, and they stamping out everything, taking everything, killing people in the streets, doing all of this. Either that's happening or it's not. It seems like if that's happening, I don't see. Fuck what we talking about with in the Black Party Democratic. I'm not so sure if I see the appropriate energy or resistance from anyone. If everything that they're saying is true, y'all sure don't act like that.
Jasmine Crockett and James Talarico had different strategies in how they were going to try to win the Democratic primary. James Talarico did not focus on the black community, probably because he knew in a primary he didn't stand a chance. Not saying that excuses it, but that's probably why he didn't focus on it as much. But since he won, has said he cannot win Texas without the black vote, which is very true. He cannot win without the black vote. So why can't both things be the case? You are frustrated and you are upset that you feel like, and it's not just a feeling, it is true, that your vote is expected. They are using your vote, depending on your vote, without fully trying or giving policies that support the very people that vote for them. So demand the things that you want, like a black maternal health policy, which is something, because in Texas, black women are disproportionately dying at higher rates than any other race. And so here comes somebody with a policy. I don't know what's going to happen if he wins, how that all will work out. But it's
whether or not he can go, whether or not he can get it done in like years a lot.
But there is a policy that is specifically speaking to the needs of the community. So you have the emotion and you have the frustration and you say you want our vote. These are what our demands are. And you see if they're meeting them, but don't say, I'm not going to vote, or not that people are specifically saying that, but it's like, it's not our duty. We don't have to do all of that. I hope Jasmine does nothing. Like, she can just sit there. Like, that's not what it should be. It should say, okay, this is the person who has the best policies for our community. These are more policies we need you to say you're going to fight for. Should we vote for you? Mm-hmm. Why can't that be something that's done? But back to like having the honest conversation, because we talk about Jasmine Crockett and we talk about the uphill battle she had being a Black woman in Texas and how she was unfairly stereotyped. But we can't say that that's the reason that she did not win the primary. We have to also have an honest conversation about campaigning. Because what I think gets lost sometimes is, and again, I'm not telling people to let go of their frustrations and emotions, is last year we saw 2 Black women become U.S. senators in Delaware and in Maryland. And I encourage everybody to go look at, Roland Martin did a whole thing on this 3 months ago about breaking down the statistics and the numbers and the strategy of both the Talarico campaign and the Crockett campaign, and how one strategy was completely lacking what the other one didn't have. And that's just a true conversation that you have to talk about if you're going to talk about somebody's campaign in general. It wasn't just one thing. It was a lot of things. And the more you talk about people who are community leaders within Texas, or within, or even have the national experience when it comes to working on campaigns, they will tell you that Jasmine ran a bad race. And the odds were against her in certain things. I'm sorry, that's the truth. We have to have this honest conversation. Okay. She ran last minute, months after James Talarico did. So he already had this grassroots campaign, this energy behind him, money behind him. The campaign was already rolling on the ground. He had thousands, tens of thousands of volunteers. When Jasmine came in, we talked about the rollout of it all, but her strategy was to focus on the 5 big counties rather than the state as a whole. James Talarico had a completely different strategy of that. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, please go look at the breakdown that Roland Martin did on his show, where he talks about specific counties. He talks about even in Dallas County or Harris County, she didn't win by a large enough percentage to even get those votes. And a lot of people did not vote. You were banking on people to vote in some of these, in the biggest counties, when they still didn't come out and vote in the primary. Because as we've talked about on the show, less people vote in a primary than they do in the general election. Mm-hmm. And so certain things you also have to discuss about the campaigning of it. You talk to people that said they didn't see signs up, they didn't get mailers. There's certain things like that. They didn't get phone calls. So there were a lot of things that were done, and maybe because of the timing of it all, that just worked against the Crockett campaign, that worked for the Talarico campaign. So there's a lot of factors that weren't just a Black woman and a white man. There were other things that were a part of this campaign that led to the results that we got in March as well. And I think we just have to have those honest conversations, because it's not that a Black woman can't be a U.S. senator. As I just said, I gave you 2 examples that just happened last year when we're in this very contentious place in our society, particularly when it comes to race. But I guess I'm saying all of this, and the reason that I wanted to talk about it, and I had to get over a fear of how controversial it could be, or people, claiming certain things about me, is because I am passionate about it, and I'm really afraid at the way things are going that Texans, not people, are going to be disenfranchised to vote when the other side of it is just so bad. And you have to understand, I am not asking you to not feel what you feel. I'm not asking you to put pressure on James Talarico or other Democrats that aren't Black to do things for the Black community. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is do both. Put the pressure on them, but also we have to work on the bigger issue of turning Texas blue and getting the better policies that work for you. And that's never going to come from a Kim Paxton or anybody who's running a MAGA campaign.
Well said. So I'll say 2 things. One, to James Talarico, and then I'll ask you something before we move off this, because I think there's a deeper conversation here. Not even a deeper conversation, but a different conversation. I do think that James Talarico should do one thing that I'm not sure if he's doing right now.
Okay.
Now, all the white people that are listening, I hear you're white somewhere. You're sitting down. and you got up to brush your teeth this morning and you went, fuck, I'm white. You know, you guys always ask the same question. Been asking this question since 1619. What can we do to help? And there's always been different answers what we could do to help, man. 1619, what we could do to help is teach y'all how to read, civilize y'all, put y'all in dresses, and, you know, give you religion. Y'all thought y'all was helping. And after that, you get out. What can we do to help? Well, we want to help. We want to help. We want to put you to work as sharecroppers. We want to help. You know, we want to help. Like, what can we do to help? And then you get to a point where you're dealing with a bunch of white liberals, and they're like, oh, my God, I'm not so sure. What could I do? What could I do? What could I do? They never do the thing which is right in front of them, which is people. They never do people. They never help people. They never reach out to people. They never make inroads with people. They're part of a system, so they think that they have to fix the system. They can't really do that. What they could do is actually invest into someone, right? So if James Talarico was really interested in, I don't know that he hasn't done this, but I don't know that he has. If he was really interested in reaching out to the black community, he would start with Jasmine Crockett first. If he was really interested in reaching out to
what would that look like? Because there's conflicting things from his camp versus her camp.
What is his camp saying?
He's reached out and without a response.
That he's reached out to her and she hasn't said anything.
Yeah, like that he sent her a few but maybe not as hard, right? Like not as hard as he should. Because I've only seen like, oh, he sent her like a few messages or something like that.
So if it were me and I was James Talarico, you guys know that I am hard-headed, but I don't seek to be dumb. I seek to be someone who is useful. It's not about bending the knee or getting down in front of her and groveling or anything like that. It's about saying, I recognize how this looks, how this feels. But not only that, I recognize what you've been through. Because another thing that we're discussing when we're talking about Congresswoman Crockett is we watched her trauma. We watched her get beat up from the highest pulpit in the nation. And to see her go through that and then be out of politics, essentially, at least for a while.
Huge loss, by the way.
Like be out of politics. That's also gutting for a lot of people because they feel like Trump won. And if Trump didn't win, then there was just another white boy with a nicer haircut and a softer voice that came in and did the same thing. But he did it with a smile, with a smaller knife, death by 1,000 cuts. So if Talarico or anybody if I was in that situation and I was James Talarico, the first thing I would do would be to make sure with whatever amount of force and enthusiasm that I could, that I connected with her. I connected with her. I reached out to her. I made sure that I platformed her. Not that I asked her to come along and be under whatever movement that we're doing, but understanding the power of her voice, the power of who she is, and also acknowledging how things went and what she's gone through. Now, if you're saying that he's done that.
Oh, I don't know. But what I'm saying is even if, let's just say he had.
Yeah.
And we're still where we are.
I don't think he has, probably.
He probably hasn't. Not in that way. Right? But it's like, it's a lose-lose situation. Because if he has, because of where we are right now, right? If he has done that, right? Or some form of it or whatever. Or even reached out like he said. He sent messages and hasn't had a response. He can't say that. He can't really say, hey, I tried to reach out well,
it's not about that though. It's not a lose-lose because it's not about winning. It's not a lose-lose because it's the right thing to do.
No. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay,
I'm saying lose-lose is in this situation of like it'll look bad. Because he can't, if he says, I tried to, she didn't, the response will be, well, she doesn't have to. Because that's kind of what we're getting right now. She doesn't have to. I'm not saying everybody. I'm saying particularly what we've seen in this. She doesn't have to. She doesn't have a duty. Right. She doesn't owe you anything. Yeah. She doesn't da-da-da-da. So like it's almost
what I'm trying to tell you is we're having two different conversations.
Okay, tell me.
I'm not having a conversation that's right now that's from the purview of what is politically expedient for him, or like what he should do from a political standpoint. What I'm saying is more so, and let me be clear. What I'm saying is, if he actually cares about building community with Black people, then he could put up a bunch of policies that are great for us, and that's amazing, and that's very important. That's what he should do as a politician. But if he wants to foster community, then he should try to do it with Jasmine Crockett.
And
now,
if he has, you're saying he should say it.
No. I'm not saying that he should say it. I'm saying, because I don't know whether or not he has or whether or not he hasn't. We're not having a conversation, which is another thing, about what James Talarico has or hasn't done. We're having a conversation about what Jasmine Crockett has or hasn't done. And the reality of that conversation is, if Jasmine Crockett has just decided, no matter what he's going to do, no matter what's going to happen, no matter how this can go, if Jasmine Crockett has just decided at this point that the people of Texas show me their ass, so I'm going to show them mine, then there's nothing you can say about that.
There's nothing.
And by the way, that's her fucking business.
Yeah, we said
right?
that.
So if she's decided that, then that's the deal. What I'm believing, though, what I believe and what I choose to believe is that she hasn't decided that. I don't think that she has. I don't think that she's decided that. I think
hope
that.
So.
Okay, so moving off this real quick, because we've been on this bitch for like an hour almost. I want to ask you a question. I'm gonna try to ask this without smiling.
You're already doing it.
Okay, how did it feel? Legitimately, how did it legitimately feel? Now you can stop. You can get at me now. Now I'm the target. How did it legitimately feel to have what you thought was a cogent, fair, and intellectual take regarding a Black woman, then weaponized to you don't support Black women? How did that actually feel?
I don't think it hurt me as much as you might think it did.
Wow. When they do it to me, it feels like a fucking kick in the nuts. I get so, you telling me I don't love my mama?
Well,
it's crazy when it happens to me. It really bothers me.
You know why? Maybe because I am a Black woman.
Oh, okay.
So it didn't hurt me like that because I understand what they're saying. I understand the sentiment. I understand the frustration on certain levels in different ways. I've experienced it myself. And so I'm not mad at their feelings. And I'm not saying you are when they come at you either. It's just,
mad at their feelings.
I'm not mad at their feelings. I understand it. And I just wanted to have a conversation of take those frustrations and use them in a different way. Let's not use them in ways that I feel like is causing people to not want to vote or to tear down, to not unify the party. Because my whole thing, and I keep saying this, and if there is a part that hurts, it's like, I guess you think that I'm not, like people being like, oh, Rachel, shut up. Oh, Rachel, please. Oh, Rachel, you don't get it. Those things don't hurt me because I do get it. So I'm not offended by it because that's not true.
Right.
And I feel like my track record shows that. So I more was just disappointed that people weren't listening to what I was saying. And that's what I felt like. It was feelings first, which I understand. And I just felt like their feelings were clouded. You're not listening to it. I was very particular with my words, and that's why I chose to use Jasmine's words, because I did not want to personally attack Jasmine. I didn't say it so people could go after her. I didn't say it so the other side could use it against her. I said it because I want people to look past, keep your feelings and use it as a motivating factor, but don't let that cloud the bigger picture of things. So for me, I guess I didn't look at it like, man, it sucks, right? That people weren't understanding what I was saying. And if the narrative from here on out is Rachel doesn't support Black women, that would suck. If that's what people hold on to. But I understand the energy behind it. I really do. I really do.
So like, oh, go ahead, my bad.
No, go ahead.
No.
I'm done.
Like, when my dad was still living, my dad would be like, he's like, the only opinion that matters is the opinions that's inside of this house. And he was talking about of him. Like he was not the kind of guy that would be like, I don't care if you think I'm a good father and a good provider. Like I run this shit here. That's not what he didn't want. He wasn't like that. He was like, yo, I care what you think about me because you should be able to look at me and see an example, or at least see somebody that if it goes left, that you know is gonna be on your side, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he'd say, I will say this though. I do care what the people on this block think of me. And I'd be like, oh, he's expanding it. I'd be like, well, why do you care what they what they say? He was like, because what they think about me is what they think about you. How they regard me
mm-hmm.
is how they gonna treat you.
Mm-hmm.
So if they look at me with respect, a little bit of fear, then when they see you, they're going to see the value. They're going to see me in you.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, now that I think about it, and he was making a point here, he goes, I also care what they think about me at your school. He's like, I care what your principal thinks of me. I care what your football coach, what your chemistry teacher, I care what they think of me. He's like, all the black people in your life, like, I care what they think of me because I want you to be protected. I want you to be valued. I want people to know that Van Lathan Jr. is here.
Mm-hmm.
What he did was he set up for me an idea of community to where black people's opinions of me matter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't overvalue them, but within the community, we got to be able to talk about each other.
Yeah.
So when I'm talking about something and someone goes, oh, you hate black women or you hate black men or you hate this person, I want to get to the bottom of that
mm-hmm.
because that is corrosive and malignant, right? Like that type of everythinging of these conversations, they're so not useful.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Because we are, once again, we can get off of it, we're talking about power. We're talking about politics. We're talking about the rich people that are asking you guys to go out and buy their shit. We're arguing over like which fucking billionaire we should fucking support. My God, man, we in the dirt. And it's like I'm trying to say, hey, what about you? 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 And if you tell me that you are
mm-hmm.
that person,
mm-hmm.
or you are them, or you are the person, you're the politician, you're the billionaire, you're the actor, you're the rapper. If you think you're them, good luck. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. I hope they bring you the can. I hope you get to go on the boat. I hope you get to park your wealth. You know what I'm saying? I hope you get to like not have to pay any taxes on your. I hope you get to hang out with all of the people and you get to do this. I hope you get to do all of that. I'm gonna tell you right now, you ain't gonna get to do it. You're gonna drink the liquor that they gave to you, and then you're gonna argue about them the whole day, and then you're gonna get your ass up and go to work. Like what I care about is what's going on in your community and how you could be better because I feel like I am you.
Yeah, same.
So like I do not like that stuff, and I think we should do less of that stuff.
We should.
Until, we're obviously in the company of ops. And then even that we'll talk about. Okay, well, Rachel said what she said.
Yeah. I would hope that it's not a thing that continues, like I said, because that's important. But I don't mind people disagreeing with me.
Yeah.
And I don't mind having those conversations.
Well, I guess, nigga, the question is now, are you going to go out there and campaign for Talarico? What you going to do?
I'm pretty sure people are expecting me to do that.
Now you got to go out with him. You got to go out with Talarico. Did we ever ask him about the OnlyFans stuff?
That was after. We had Talarico on before he even said he was running.
So, but is that true with the OnlyFans?
What they said is he just follows people back who support him. Or something like that. Like, it was like, yeah. Or I don't know if it's him or his campaign or whatever.
Let me see right now if Talarico followed me back. Because if he hasn't followed me back.
He followed me.
If he hasn't followed me back, but he following Freaky Freak 69, I'm gonna have some questions. Okay, so he's only following 3,900 people. So he ain't following back everybody that's following him. Is he following me? Let's see. Yeah, he follows me.
See?
Let me see who else he got on here. He following some niggas. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. Look, he got a picture. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Look, he got a picture of him and a black girl. Look, Talarico.
See, he's making strides, guys.
Look at that. I can take pictures with you people.
He's making strides.
Happy Juneteenth. Honored to march in Dr. Opal Lee's annual Juneteenth Walk for Freedom. Shout out to Talarico, man. I don't know if I ever want to talk about Texas again. Y'all mad about this shit. All right, Donnie, on the other side of this break, we're going to get to something a little bit lighter. Donnie's choice. Whatever it is, something lighter. Donnie's choice on the other side of this break.
This episode is brought to you by FanDuel Predicts. You can predict the Summer Soccer Showcase action all the way to the final match with FanDuel Predicts. All you have to do is sign up to get your $25 bonus. From the opening game to the final whistle, stay locked in with every pass, every goal, and every moment that moves us closer to crowning a champion. Sign up now for your $25 bonus on FanDuel Predicts. Go to FanDuel.com/predicts to sign up. That's FanDuel.com/predicts to get your $25 bonus. Offered by FanDuel Prediction Markets, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant. 18 plus, restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/predicts/bonus-offer-terms.
Thought that was extremely well done. But go ahead, Donnie.
Yeah, agreed. No pushback there. Yeah. That was our longest quick hitter, but maybe our best, most in depth.
Donnie is so shady. Donnie is so deceptively shady.
Can we talk to you real quick? Like, what's going on with you, dog?
You knew that wasn't going to be a quick hitter.
You're not fucking with us no more?
It was good.
Yeah,
I loved it. I'm genuinely saying that was a good conversation.
Tried to put Rachel. Somebody asked me, can I just say one thing before we move on?
Yeah.
Someone said,
he loves it.
So I don't love it, but I'm just going to say this one last time. I'm going to be quick. If you call me and you talking some shit about her, I'm going to bust your ass. And
was it a man or a woman?
It was a man.
Okay.
And like, I'm going to bust your ass. And it's going to get uncomfortable. You're going to get your ass bust. So just be nice. Whatever it is, I'm going to bust your ass. Somebody hit me up and they were like, she more on that Omarosa type of black woman thing. Is she? I was like, you know what I don't like? Johnny, we're gonna move on. You know what I don't like? This is what I don't like for real.
Like, see, that's so low brow. I don't even give anything back.
I know. I think he was trying to play, but you know what I don't like? Mm-hmm. And this is a player-proof thing. Me and Gino once got on a nigga ass for this.
Okay.
I never told you the story where me and Gino are sitting around and somebody was talking to me and Gino like they was gonna do Ryan something. Okay. And I'm like, me and Gino, we listened to this conversation. I'm like, this nigga must think we bitch ass niggas that we would let you talk about our guy. Like, I'm like, oh, me and Gino did a whole thing. I'm like, oh, are you a hoe? Like, are you a bitch? Like, cause I don't think I'm a bitch. And we looked at this. We like, who the fuck you talking about, nigga? Who the fuck you talking to? You got something to say to Ryan? You can say us right now. Like, you walking around like you about to do him something, nigga. What you on? That's how I feel 1,000% of the time. Don't call me complaining about her and like talking shit. I'm gonna bust your ass.
Yeah.
Like,
vice versa. Like, same here. I'm on some Omarosa.
I'm gonna show you the text. He's still trying to say sorry. It's like, that was a joke. That was a joke.
I know, but like, and maybe I'm just too. I don't know. That kind of stuff.
You are actually more resilient in this than I ever thought that you were.
Yeah,
because I be sensitive about this.
I think what people don't realize is
nigger.
I was so highly attacked during those Bachelorette stuff.
Yeah.
And then you remember the Chris Harrison, it brought it all back. Like, I'm so used to people coming at me that, I don't know, maybe I just have like a switch that detaches. But I do care, like I said, in this particular case, if it continues, because it's just so not what I stand for and I represent. And it would be disappointing because, as we've said, and I don't want to keep being redundant, we just have to be able to have honest conversations about people not just in politicians, people we admire, period, in all industries. And isn't that what we're supposed to be doing on higher learning? But I'm not telling you have to agree, but we got to be able to have the conversation. That's why I don't get mad. Like when I called Reese, I was like, I'm not mad that you disagree. There's no.
Yeah, Reese had a good conversation.
Very cordial.
I disagree with a lot of it.
That's why when you asked me the question, I'm like, I understand where they're saying. That's why I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad. I'm quite an understanding person, actually.
I think so. I agree. All right, Donnie, what you gonna talk? What you gonna choose? What you going?
Well, let's see. This is a topic that Rachel is not aware of, so don't get mad. But the 2026 XXL freshman class was just
oh Lord, am I gonna have to name the people on the cover again?
We're not gonna do this. Yeah, the XXL freshman class. What we're gonna do now is we have Jade over here, and I am going to name someone, and it's Rach versus Jade. It's Auntie Rach.
No.
It's Auntie Rach. It's Auntie Rach versus Baby Jade. Okay.
Now explain to the people like
the double X.
These are very up and coming, so it's not like they're mainstream.
This one I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Yo, if I gotta explain to you the double XL freshman list, this ain't the podcast for you, man.
That's not true. This isn't a hip hop podcast.
I know, man, but Donnie, do you know what the double XL freshman list is? Of course he does.
Just like I know what it is. Brownie knows what it is.
Yeah.
I feel like anybody that's listening to our podcast should know. But okay, in case you don't know, you white ass motherfucker, the double XL for almost like 30 years now. I don't think it's been 30 years, but probably like the mid 2000s or whatever. They do a freshman list.
It's literally 10 years.
I don't think it's 10.
It says the cover marks the 10th anniversary of the landmark. Maybe that's not it. It says landmark 2016, but maybe 2016 was just
maybe
a bigger year.
It is.
Maybe it was just that. That was just a big year.
Because they can't be no fucking 10 years because Whaley was on that motherfucker.
Okay.
So
I think it was like 2007, maybe.
2007.
Yeah, it's like
an annual freshman list.
Years. It's like at least got to be the mid to late 2000s they've been doing this. Shout out to Vanessa Satin.
Oh, who was on the 2006? Okay, yeah, that was a big class.
Shout out to Vanessa Satin. Oh wow. Cinnawin didn't make it. That's an interesting omission. Maybe she made it last year. I don't know. Anyway,
who?
This is a lady. She raps. She's from she fuck with Rob. She from Oregon. She's cold.
Win?
What's her name?
You talking about Win?
Win, is it Win or
the white girl?
Yeah.
Win.
She cold. She cold.
She's cold.
But there's a lot of black women that's cold.
She's cold.
Okay, like give me some black women that's cold because we can't do it that way.
What's the?
Like, give me some like
that are new up and coming?
that aren't on the freshman list.
Yeah, who's the black woman that got the barbecue, the song where she got, man, I love that record. Huh? What's her name?
No, it's not Monaleo.
It's Monaleo.
He said barbecue, and I was thinking about
Monaleo.
You know everything. That one.
The one where she was like, that's what
about
I'm talking about.
Like white people to the back.
Yeah, white people to the back.
Yeah, that's
Monaleo.
right.
Okay, so look, Monaleo cold. We're not putting.
She is.
She's
versatile.
She's cold. She's versatile. She should have been on here. Okay, look.
She's been doing it.
Okay, so look, but you never know when you're gonna make the freshman list. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm gonna call out a name, Rach, first to see whether or not Rach knows. Then I'm gonna go to Jade to see whether or not Jade knows the list. Jade, just to let you guys know, Jade is a rapper. Okay, all right, Lareezy.
No.
Jade.
Yes.
Let me see what they look like.
Slayer.
No.
Oh,
Lareezy's like 14, right?
He's young.
Yeah, he's super young.
But he's really talented.
Yeah, no, I know of him. I'm looking at the picture.
Okay. Sosa Camo?
Oh, well, you don't know.
I don't know.
No.
Trap Dickie.
Sounds familiar.
Yes.
Trap Dickie, I know. Belly Gang Cushington.
No.
Okay. Chris Patrick.
No.
That's a rapper?
Babyface E.
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh. Okay. YKN's.
Oh my God.
That's
probably the most popular one.
What YK Niece?
You don't know who that is?
No.
She's like,
whammy and get a bag.
I'm fucking with her. I'm fucking with all of y'all. This is not this.
she's featured on a lot of like take me through there, take me through, right?
Oh, okay. I love that record. I like that type of energy.
She featured on that.
Okay, so you know her.
That's probably the biggest one I know.
Okay, Jade.
Yes.
Okay, Skrilla.
Skrilla? Sorry, I was thinking Skrillex.
Skrilla.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Trim.
No.
Yes.
You know Trim?
Yeah, she's the girl. I can't remember her songs, but they're comparing her to Nicki Minaj. That she sounds like
Trim.
Nicki. Yes.
Shout out to Trim, man.
Yes.
Miles Minnick.
Nope.
No.
Hurricane Wisdom.
No.
No.
I'm not an auntie because she don't know none of these people either.
So I will say this about the freshman list the freshman list is still something I look forward to every time it drops because I'm gonna go and listen to these people's music. Like, this is still awesome promotion. The freshman list obviously doesn't guarantee that you're about to become like a huge star.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because there have been people that have been on the freshman list and, you know, we've known them even before they made the list. They got on the list, you know, there's so much stuff. But it does guarantee still with me right now, the freshman list guarantees that I'm going to go listen to some of your music. And if there's like a freshman playlist or something, I'm going to let all of this spin to see what I like.
What's the category? Because I'm looking at it from last year. And Ian was on it.
Ian.
And Jello was on it.
Yeah. Jello.
Yeah.
Somebody.
But compared to like Samara Sin or
you look
1900
at
Rugrat.
These comments been going crazy. These comments be going crazy, man.
I don't know. Jade, what do you think about it? Does it still, as a Gen Z, or does it hold weight to you? Do y'all pay attention to that? Does it like put you on?
I think it definitely held more weight in the 2010s. I feel like as an artist being a part of it, it's still a great opportunity. It's a lot of exposure, especially if like you haven't already been known. But I do think that it was more of a cultural like moment back in the 2010s than it is now.
Yeah,
I also think, you know, it's just the music's changing, the scene is changing, you know. So it's just, I think it is more of a digital thing now than it was back then. I feel like there was more of an impact for the artists.
Well, I think the major thing that's here is it used to be to a large degree that by the time you made the freshman list, you had like a major label behind you. You had a push coming from someone. You had a cosign coming from. Because of the way streaming works now, and I don't know the situations of none of these people, but a lot of these artists are probably getting it out the mud a little bit more. They haven't had like any major type of push yet.
I feel like this class specifically, I agree with that because I feel like 2025 double XL freshman list had people who had a lot of backing behind them.
Yeah. Belly Gang Cushington, I actually know who that is, by the way.
This year, I feel like majority of these artists are just have a lot of virality to them. And I don't think they necessarily have a ton of backing behind them yet.
That's interesting because that could lead into our Lizzo conversation. But before that, I recognized the 2016 list because they were like, this is the 10th anniversary of like the big 2016 one. So I looked up. This is who was on the list in 2016.
Okay.
21 Savage. Anderson .Paak.
Okay.
Dave East. Denzel Curry. Designer.
Okay.
Wow.
G Herbo.
Okay.
Wow.
Kodak Black. Lil Dicky. Lil Uzi. And Lil Yachty.
That's an
them
insane.
niggas going crazy.
That's why they referenced it.
But if you go back and look at the situations that was surrounding that like Atlanta was going so crazy at that point, like that's a crazy fucking freshman class.
Yeah.
That's a crazy fucking freshman class. No doubt about it. That's a crazy freshman class. All right, Donnie, get us into something more serious now because we got to come back to the bullshit.
Yeah. Okay. More serious, as in you want to talk about Jay Williams or
No.
Okay.
Let's talk about Lizzo.
Let's talk about Lizzo. I guess. Yeah, that goes.
talk about
to-
Lizzo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, her new album, Bitch, debuted to, I'm sure to her, very disappointing and low sales. It failed to make the Billboard 200 chart. The album sold roughly 2,600 copies in its first week and saw significantly lower streaming numbers compared to her previous releases. Her last release, the 2022 album Special, hit number 2 on Billboard 200 and debuted with approximately 69,000 total units sold. So a big drop for Lizzo.
Why are you laughing?
I'm not laughing. There's no laughing. I'm not laughing. I don't. Seriously, I'm not laughing. I'm having no problems with Lizzo. I do wonder something about Lizzo, though.
What?
I wonder if people ever loved Lizzo or if they were just tolerating her.
People definitely loved Lizzo.
I don't know.
Why do you say that?
Because I think two things. One, Lizzo definitely had music that people loved.
Mm-hmm.
She definitely had music that people really fuck with. Right?
Mhm.
Y'all like the Minnesota Vikings song and all of that shit.
Yeah.
Like, Minnesota Vikings. Like Lizzo definitely had records
Huge.
that people liked, right? But I do think that part of Lizzo's charm and Lizzo's deal was that people were embracing Lizzo and they felt good about embracing Lizzo, right? They felt good about embracing what Lizzo represented in many different ways. Lizzo also had an interesting story. I think that the moment that people didn't feel good about it anymore, they jumped off of the bandwagon with the whole thing from a couple of years ago. Now, everybody might say that's what people do. When they no longer feel good about listening to you or supporting you, they jump off the bandwagon. That's not true. I could name you a plethora of artists right now that people don't feel good about supporting, but the music and the artistry has just grabbed them and put them in a stranglehold to where they're actually willing to be a little bit shitty to access the thing that they love.
Name one.
Chris Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Like, it is like R. Kelly. There's so many.
No, Chris Brown was a good example.
Like, you can't, Chris up there, you go, I love it. Like, and you go, what does this mean? Well, like, what does that mean? Chris start dancing, you go, shit.
Name a woman.
Good question.
Because I'm not trying to make this gender wars.
No.
It's just
That's
obviously
actually
there's
a
different-
phenomenal question. Number one, I can't think of very many women who have acted this poorly. Like just as men do. Like there's not as many examples.
Right, and that's part of it. It's like
Yeah,
a different
like, I
standard.
can't
If a
think-
man did this, well, Meg.
Meg, no, you can say Meg.
Meg, you're right, Meg.
Meg has what?
The lawsuit.
Meg has. I can't believe you did this.
Well,
You're
I guess
trying
I'm
to
on a roll,
You're
aren't
trying
I?
to get kicked off the island. Nigga. No,
But it's the truth.
Meg has a lawsuit. If you guys don't remember what the lawsuit is, someone sued Meg and they allege that Meg, all kinds of stuff. One of her assistants or photographers, but also there's an allegation that he was locked in a car and made to watch Meg and a woman have sex. Which, if that had been a man watching someone, we're going crazy. So like Meg, but that, I don't know why I'm hemming and hard. That's a good example. But what I'm saying is they love her for real.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah.
To your point, that's a woman who has certain allegations and her fans still support her, ride
Right.
hard for her. She gets opportunities, all the stuff.
Right. Lizzo's thing, this tells me they wasn't fucking with Lizzo as much. And this thing came out and they looked at Lizzo and they went, hey, big black lady, not from you. I don't want not from you. You have to be completely energetically pure. I'm not saying that any of this, I'm not indicting this. I'm just saying for her to get to this point where we talking 2,600 copies, that's a flat line right there.
I think it's a couple of things. One, I wonder if Meg had not gone through what she did with Tory Lanez, I wonder if people might have perceived the other thing in a different way.
Perhaps.
That's just a thought. But Meg is not the same artist as Lizzo in the sense of I know who Meg is and I know what I'm getting from her. She's clearly defined. I'm a little confused on who Lizzo is.
What you mean?
And Jade's nodding her head.
Oh, y'all okay. Y'all got shit
When
to say.
Lizzo had been out, Lizzo used to rap all of that rap, sing, flute playing. When she really hit her stride and her popularity was like 2019, and it was like pop. I'm like, that's Lizzo. If I'm looking at the build up to this album, I'm seeing her sing. I'm seeing an alternative take. I'm seeing her rap. I'm seeing her pop out at Coachella during people's sets, twerking, playing the flute, doing her thing. And it's like at where I didn't know what to expect with this album. And even at the same time she was doing all of that, I felt like I didn't even realize she had an album coming out at the same time. Like, I feel like some of it was all lost. And I saw Isaac Hayes put something up where he said that the person who was running, is it Atlantic, her music company, the company? The person who was running it, the person who recruited her, all of that, they're gone. They're not there anymore. So now it's like a whole new set of people. And it's very similar to like in sports when you get a new coach. It happened to me when I was at Extra, when the woman EP who recruited me and a new one came in. You want your person. Because if the other person that was brought in has success, you can't say, hey, as an executive, hey, as this, I'm the person who brought this in. So I don't even know if what Isaac Hayes is saying is true, is if she had the right push behind her, they might not be as into her, as motivated to market her, because she's not their person. And that could be also why we didn't see so much surrounding the album.
The problem with that is,
stuff.
Ike knows more about the music business than me. He also knows more about being a Drake stan than me. He also knows more about being an Atlanta stan than me. He also knows, shout out to Ike, man. Shout out to Ike. But that's my guy. But Ike knows more about the music game than me. He does. But I just don't feel like any of the things that you're talking about would be barriers for artists who had a more robust fan base.
Well,
like right now, tomorrow, if fucking Olivia Rodrigo changed all of her shit, she put some shit out, that shit going crazy. Now, I'm not comparing her to Lizzo, but like what I'm saying is like this is not Lizzo dropped and she sold 35. Which a lot of people would look at as a brick for Lizzo, 35 or 40. Maybe they wouldn't look at that, right? This is Lizzo sold 2,600 albums. People don't care right now.
They also say that Lizzo is a radio darling and not a streaming artist, right? Olivia is a streaming artist. Like, she got a lot of popularity from TikTok and stuff, not taking away from her talent. Also Disney, all of that, right? Like, she was more in the industry and had popularity more of a longer time, I would say, than Lizzo did. Lizzo got big from the radio. People aren't listening to radio. She's not necessarily a streaming artist and doesn't have that fan base in the same way either. Like Jade, sure you have a lot of insight on this too if you want to hop in.
Yeah, Jade, what you got?
I kind of agree with what Rachel's saying. I feel like Lizzo's brand and image has always been kind of constantly evolving, but I do think the time between her getting her big breaks and the time of her getting those lawsuits from her former employees and stuff, she wasn't doing much in that time to like really perfect or secure like exactly what her brand was as an artist. And I think that was her falling, because say she was able to kind of position, and also agreed, her music is very, you're hearing it in the malls, you're hearing it on the radio, she has a mainstream pop sound that I don't think will gravitate everybody on a general sense, but she doesn't have a cult following.
She doesn't have a cult
She's
following.
never had
That's
a cult
true.
following. She's always been somebody
that's your
who
point.
That's what I'm saying.
is able to make general music, good music
Right.
for the general masses.
So-
So I feel like her weak point was her branding.
So do you have to have a cult following now?
It's
I mean,
so
it's not even
important to have a cult following.
I mean, the way this works is this. The way this works in any fandom anywhere. So Lizzo's last joint that had About Damn Time on it sold 69,000 in his first week. So I don't know why.
And that was before the situation. That was before.
I mean,
the
but
lawsuits.
look, 69,000 is that's a hell of a number. You only have a couple of people that's going crazy now. You only have a couple of people like that's doing 150, 200, like 300. 69 is a big deal, but like this is indicative to me of people not like just not being interested in Lizzo. This is indicative to me of people being turned off by Lizzo. Like people see the Lizzo song, they don't stream it. They see the thing, they not playing it. And I do think though that there's a part of this, to your point, I think it's a good point that you make about the tolerance that we have with women in these situations. It's the same reason why Chrisette Michele got her ass kicked forever for singing at Trump's inauguration, but it's mad niggas that ain't gone completely MAGA and they don't seem to give a fuck about them. Now, those guys might have more hits, more records. We've been with them for a longer time, but I do think that there's a different way that we treat people based upon like gender. But also with this Lizzo situation, also with this Lizzo situation, I really do think that when that shit came out, people were like, you can't do the body positivity stuff to us. You can't do the stuff at the Laker games. You can't do all of that stuff. When I say do the body positivity stuff to us, that's the wrong way to put that. You can't be that forward-facing with it and then lead a toxic culture inside of what you control. I really do feel like people were like, there was a betrayal there, and they were like, oh, it's easy to get rid of her. I don't know if it's going to be like that permanently, but I just think that people not fucking with Lizzo like that no more, because that shit was like, nah. And part of it is, when I say tolerated, I think part of it does come back to the fact that she was a larger woman. They're like, we feel like we're doing the right thing by celebrating Lizzo, by celebrating this, by celebrating. We feel like we're being right. We feel like we're being woke. We feel like we're responding to Lizzo's body type in a way. We're embracing it, blah, 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 blah. And then they're like, oh, you're not on that? We out.
Yeah.
There's a larger conversation to be had about the body positivity movement as well.
What is that? It doesn't exist anymore?
And I wonder for the long term how corrosive this is. Man, Eli Lilly destroyed the body positivity movement. A lot of people that were telling people, rightfully so, to be comfortable in your own bodies, that we were beautiful at any size, that we were gorgeous and sexy at any size. Obviously, as a guy that's dealt with my weight, people were preaching that. And man, when that drug hit the market, they pricked their skin and dropped them 14 sizes.
I mean, it really does show that nobody really believed it. That's really what, like, nobody really wanted it.
I think it's still people holding on. I would love to talk to somebody from there, from the body. We've had guests before, but I just have seen so many stalwarts from that. They look different. And I'm not judging. I'm just saying that's
it's just talking about a movement that existed, and now you're seeing the complete opposite, and especially now that it's all so accessible. And I know people take it for different reasons. I'm not saying people all take it for the sole purpose of looking a certain way. There are health benefits absolutely tied to it, but it is an interesting conversation to have coming right off body positivity and seeing the pendulum swing the complete opposite way, as things always do. And I'm sure it'll swing right back eventually.
Yeah. So with Lizzo, I wonder if
But she lost weight.
She did?
Mm-hmm. This is what I'm saying. People don't know. The video for her first song of this album is her with a version of her old self, like her old body. She's singing to it.
She lost mad fucking weight.
Yeah.
What a pretty lady. Always been pretty. Okay, well, we'll see what happens. I mean, to your point, she is kind of a cross-culture star, so there might be some, but 2600, then now we're gonna see if any of these joints bang. Have y'all listened to this?
No. I did listen to YG though.
I mean, bitch.
You listen to YG? Listen at you.
You watch? Listen. What did his album do?
How was YG shit sounding? I haven't listened to it.
I would say I appreciate the storytelling.
That's what you do.
And I think this is one of those albums that came very much from the heart, telling a lot of honest, true stories.
You're not fucking with it. I know when y'all niggas just up there talking. You started talking about.
I didn't like all the songs.
You started talking about storytelling, how it came from the heart.
Sometimes
all of
albums
that
aren't just for that.
You're not fucking with it. When
Sometimes albums just aren't
every
for
time you ask
that.
somebody whether or not they like some shit, and they go, "Man, this one of them ones I'm really gonna have to sit with and spend like 10 to you didn't like. You heard it, you didn't like it. Like, and that's cool too.
Anyway.
All right, I want to see what you think about this. Hey, Donnie, Jay Williams at the draft. Did you see this, Rach?
I did.
Williams from Duke University. So we saw some. Where were you?
You got them diamond earrings, yo. I did. I know. Got some diamond earrings.
Hey, that mustache was elite. How old were you with that mustache?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry.
I was saying the mustache.
It wasn't elite stash.
I've never seen a 20-year-old with a stash like that.
What the conversation? Look, because where were you?
I was hanging out with my family. I was having a good time.
You didn't want to come?
I knew I was going to be a lottery pick, so I just decided just to hang out.
I forgot 13 is lottery.
Yeah. Yes.
Hey, why such a big ovation for you? Was there something? That crowd was loud.
Chicago, I don't know. Well, most of the people that went to Duke are from New Jersey, New York. So.
Well, they also didn't see the future coming, so they were cheering kind of preempt. Sorry, I apologize.
Wow. Hey, listen.
Wow.
The guy was a unbelievable talent.
He was okay in college. He was okay. He was okay.
And his career trajectory would have been a lot different if he didn't like motorcycles. Yes, that's on record. I wrote a book about it. Yes. I try to beat everybody to the punch.
Yeah. I guess everybody that goes to Duke isn't that smart. Wait, he wrote a book about it. I'm agreeing with him.
No, if you can't be that smart if you write a book. But anyway.
So just to let y'all know, we're not talking about like marrying the wrong person, or we're not talking about like, a basketball technique or something else, the type of mistake. Jay Williams was in a horrific motorcycle accident.
Mm-hmm.
He almost had to have his leg amputated.
Mm-hmm.
His legs are he has like a drop leg now.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to come back. The fact that Jay is walking around right now is a fucking miracle by a lot in a lot of regards, right? Man, Jay, you know I fuck with you. You be going crazy sometimes, but you know I fuck with you. You should have bust his fucking ass.
That's just not Jay.
Obviously not in the physical. You should have bust his fucking ass. And Richard Jefferson got shit we could bust his ass about. All right? There's stuff we could say. There's stuff that would have been said on that. That's too far, dog. I mean, I'm not the faint of heart. But like when we in the drive session, nigga, you kicking off the drive session, nigga. We not just sitting talking. You want to I got to put the wheel in your back and crank that motherfucker. Jay dealt with it, I guess the way you deal with it when you're like a nice, upstanding, emotionally regulated man. You're talking about a nearly life-ending accident that robbed me. I would have been one of the best guards of my generation. Jay got to go through that, hit that from that nigga. Jay, bust his ass. Hey, Jay, Karen Kinney, I love you, Karen. Karen, I love you. Karen, I love you, Karen Kinney. Tell Jay, Van said, bust Richard's ass.
The thing with Richard is he's such a troll in these situations. Like whether it's live, whether at the draft, like we just saw, whether it's him on ESPN, whether it's on social media, he does it a lot on TikTok. This is so his personality. And I'm actually surprised more people don't come at him for some of the trolling. I think a lot of times, and that's probably what Jay was thinking too, people just let it slide because it's like, oh, that's Richard. But this one was so dark. Richard couldn't even get everybody to like laugh or make light of it because it was such a heavy situation. I mean, not only was the accident horrific and it changed the entire trajectory of his life. Like Jay's written a memoir where he talked about being addicted to painkillers because of the situation. There was the story of resilience from Jay Williams in all of this. He talked about it on some podcast after this happened, and he said that the reason he responded that way is because he didn't want the situation to be about him. He wanted it to be about the draft. And what he was most annoyed about is these young men, their lives are changing completely tonight. And now this is becoming a storyline and you're focused on me and it's for the wrong reasons. And so he said he was trying to, again, super professional. I'm like you. I don't know if I would have handled it the same way, especially because this is what Richard does. So I would have just gone back at him. But the fact that he was able to keep his composure of something that I'm sure even though he's moved past it, how did you not think about this? And for Richard to just throw it in your face like that, that's really, really outstanding that he was able to put the young man above it all
and by the way,
and keep it moving.
Any of the comebacks that I would have came off the top of the dome with to Richard Jefferson would have been super non-PC and inappropriate.
Well, his wasn't PC.
Especially during Pride Month. So like a lot of the stuff that I would have, so I'm not even saying I would have been like a great guy about it, but like you wade them waters, man. Like you gotta, I'm not mad on behalf of Jay, but that's the kind of shit to where if you don't bust his ass, he gonna come back again. He gonna double back. When I was at TMZ,
he might not with this one because this is bad.
When I was at TMZ, once again, I don't know why I keep doing shout outs to Harvey, man. Maybe I'm looking back at my TMZs. The further I get away from it, the more I'm like, it was a terrible place. Not really. I loved it there. I don't miss it, but like it was fun. Like I don't know what the fuck I tell you. It was fun. The shit was fun. I don't know. It was fun there. Fucking misfits running around, ripping and running around the town and all this stuff, whatever. But Harvey teed me up for a joke when I first got there. The joke killed. And then after that, I was walking out. A guy named Rick Mitchell. Rick goes, "Hey, that's a tough room in there." I was like, "What? What you mean?" He was like, because literally my first time on the show, he was like, "That's a viper pit in there. Like inside of that room, it's a viper pit." He was like, that was a good joke, but also when you're in there, you gotta stand your ground. And so I was like, "Oh shit, somebody pop shit at me on the TMZ cameras. I gotta get busy." And that's the way you keep people off you, by getting on their ass. And Jay should have just a shot across the bow at Richard Jefferson. Just a shot across the bow, playing that man like that. That's not funny. Anyway, all right, too much. Donnie, what else we got?
Y'all want to talk about ASAP and his recent concert in Arizona?
What happened?
There's a couple clips.
Yeah.
Some clips have gone viral. People are saying that he was being disrespectful to his wife. Let's play both clips back to back.
I heard about how Phoenix got some beautiful ass women out here, bro. Scottsdale, Phoenix, all this shit. They was just like, that's where all the pretty ladies in America at. They in fucking Arizona, bro. Thank God y'all didn't know me when I was single, because I would have fucked the shit out you if you was pretty, man. Touch me, baby girl. Oh, she fine as fuck. Look at the sky. You and your friend fine as fuck.
They already in the
I just got struck by Cupid. Let's make this.
That's enough. Let's say you're in the relationship. Are you mad at any of that?
No.
I don't see the big deal.
I don't see. He's a rock star.
He's a rapper type.
He's a rapper.
Jade's got a different fucking opinion. Here we go. Bring us
what is the problem with that? It's not. He's literally talking. He's talking to thousands of people, not one-on-one.
I get it, but selfishly, if I was in that, I would feel a type of way. But I get it. I think that there could be two truths. I think you could understand he's a rock star. That's what he does.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I'm Rihanna, I'm gonna be like, ugh. I'm gonna give her an eye roll.
But he acknowledged that he's not even single. He said, "When I was single, this is what I would have done."
He now said he is single. You said not even single.
He said, "But if I was single."
But it's like,
I would have done. Y'all
better
should know me when I didn't single.
Listen, here's the deal though. He's performing, right?
Yes, and that's why I said I can understand he's doing his job as an artist, as a rock star, and obviously he is a sex symbol to a lot of
sex.
Yeah,
penis.
sex symbol.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If Rihanna or anyone did a movie and she had to do a love scene with a guy, do you think it would be appropriate for A$AP Rocky to be offended by her doing a love scene with a guy in the movie?
No, but I think I would consider that different just because these are comments. Like, it wasn't
'Cause
like
that's
those
a
are
script.
lyrics from his
Those are
song.
script.
No,
That's
he's-
something that
he's-
he just wants to say just
he's
to say
performing.
it.
He's being a bigger version of it. It's the same thing.
And I get
He's
it.
performing. He's
I
being
get
a
it.
bigger version of himself to be bombastic.
100%. 100%. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
That does, but yeah, I mean, if
Doesn't bother me.
I was Rihanna, I still eye roll, to be honest.
Guess I could date a rock star.
Dead rapper.
It doesn't bother me.
I like that type of shit.
But I mean, that's part of the reason he is who he is. To your point, he is a sex symbol in addition to being a rapper. One of y'all said it. So like, girls come to his shows. He wants to continue to sell tickets and albums and have the attention, and people buy his products or whatever it is that he's selling, because I think he has a line or whatever, too, in conjunction with someone. It's all a part of the character. I would feel totally different if you showed me a clip at a club and he's not on stage and he's in a section and you overhear him saying this to someone.
I could agree.
That's a one-on-one interaction. Like, from the stage, I fully expect it. I might even encourage it, because I'm the one who gets to go home with you at night.
I'm going to be real. I feel in this situation a lot of sympathy for ASAP, because a lot of people tell me I look like ASAP.
Is it time to take another break?
Like, physically, a lot of people say that we look similar. That we a lot of people
That you're
say,
black?
No, a lot of people say like cheekbones. A lot of people say like skin tone, jawline. A lot of people say, like, I've been walking places before. Like, I'm like, all just aside, seriously, y'all looking at me crazy, but like, I'm being serious right now, and I expect you guys to support. So I was walking at Beverly Center one time. Somebody comes up to me. It was like, "Oh, we're fucking problems. We're fucking problems." I was like, "What?" He's like, "You do that? That's your song. Like, you do fucking problems." I was like, "Oh, I don't do that." But I know I see how you could think that I look like ASAP. I told them that. I was like, I see how you think that I could look like him, because a lot of people tell me that.
I don't even know how to respond to
Donnie?
that. Don't even know how to respond. Why don't you ask Rihanna if she thinks that you look like ASAP?
That's first of all, you don't think it's problematic for me to ask a lady?
If you favor him, say, hey, just like you're saying here, a lot of people tell me that I favor him. Do you think so?
So,
because you know him.
Shout out to Riri.
You
by the
know
way.
him.
Shout out to Riri.
Obviously.
Shout out to Riri.
That's
the
a
homie.
logical question.
That's the homie. But like
which is why I'm telling you to ask her.
But you think it's appropriate for me to hit her and be like, yo, a lot of people say I look like your man.
Do you think so?
I think that's a fucking violation.
It's the same way it's a violation for you to get on this podcast microphone and tell people that, first off, that you were at the Beverly Center, because that's a fucking lie. And two, that people come to you and tell you that you look like ASAP.
A lot of people say it. A lot of people say, just right now, give me a side by side.
Take off the glasses, take off the hat, so they can really see it.
Can we not? Can we?
You can take off the glasses at least.
Okay, like this is.
Don't smile. Now do that side by side.
I feel like we favor.
We'll see what the people think.
And if they're negative, just know that we're living in negative times.
I favor Rihanna more than you favor.
Let's see about that. But you look like every black lady though.
No, I don't.
You look like a lot of different black ladies.
Do you think that?
You look like nigga. You could be Robin
Givens for sure.
You
I get that
Rihanna,
all the time.
You got a little Gabrielle Union in there. You got a little Regina Hall in there.
All compliments. I'll take all of these.
Because these are pretty black ladies, and just like ASAP is a model type looking nigga, and I also am that same thing. So it's the same thing. It's Van, ASAP, Tyson Beckford type situation. Those are the standards. All right. What else? What else should we do? Should we just check in on Donald Trump? He going crazy. Let's check in on him.
Yeah, let's do it. He abruptly canceled what was a planned signing ceremony for a major bipartisan housing bill just hours before it was supposed to happen. The legislation, known as the 21st Century Road to Housing Act, passed Congress with overwhelming bipartisan support, and it aims to boost housing supply, curb large institutional investors from buying single-family homes, and it will lower, or it would lower housing costs. But before the signing ceremony happened, he announced that he will not sign the bill until Congress first passes the Save America Act, which we have talked about. It's a measure that would require stricter voter ID and proof of citizenship requirements for federal elections.
Perfect example of what the Republican Party hath brought and hath made. And it's so interesting to see so many different members of the GOP finally running out of patience with their emperor.
Are they?
As he continues to lose clothes, they are. They are. Do you know why?
Why?
Because they were, I mean, you know what drafting is, right? When you're in somebody's draft, you track. You're a track runner. So you're running behind somebody and you're in their draft, you're in there, what do you call it? You're in their wind behind them. They're creating a break in the wind and you're gaining speed. What is that called? Is that called drafting? What is that?
I'm not
Whatever the
aware
fuck
of
it is like these people were running behind Trump because Trump, the trail of Trump made it easier for them to move ahead of more talented politicians that had better ideas, politicians that had more serious ideas. Now, what's happening with Donald Trump is he's fucking losing his mind. Donald Trump is, what you got going on? You okay?
I have something.
That's very special. Donald Trump is now obsessed with ballrooms and arches and wading pools. Grandpa is getting crotchety, and he doesn't even have the energy anymore to bullshit the way that he used to. Trump don't have his fastball anymore. So now what he does has to be very direct, like it's super direct. And it's like, you can't hide it. You can't really obfuscate it anymore. Some will try, but in this situation, this is a bipartisan housing bill. This is Elizabeth Warren and Tim Scott. When the last time them motherfuckers was, well, they probably talk all the time. What the fuck am I talking about? They probably be going to lunch, going to Arby's, chilling, like all kinds of shit. I don't know what the fuck going on. I don't know how they do it in D.C. But they do this bill to address housing. This is a win that both sides are going to spin. The Democrats are going to go, we did something about housing. The Republicans are going to go, hey, we can legislate. We did something about housing.
Yeah.
Donald Trump put his political power in front of all of that. Donald Trump said, yo, I might be a lame duck in November. My political career might be effectively over in November. And because you guys are not voting with me on that, which they don't even have the votes, they need fucking 60 votes on that shit.
Yeah.
Unless you get rid of filibuster, which they do not want to do, because you guys can't make that happen. Americans are not going to get housing relief that they need. Now, a lot of this bill is not exactly housing relief. It has to do with all kinds of different stuff that would stop people from doing predatory housing things.
Right.
So we would hope that it would result in housing relief. He doesn't care about that. He puts himself in front of the people, and there's no way around it. We are getting a fucking mixtape. Damn, son. Where'd you find that? We're getting a mixtape of Trump's greatest hits of not giving a fuck about people.
Yeah.
Doesn't really think about people. Gasoline prices, putting the war before people.
Yeah.
Put housing, but we getting it. There's no way to spin it right now. The ones that are going to try, the ones that are going to try at this point are just the deepest, gooeyest, sloppiest dick suckers. That's it.
You just had to get that in there.
I'm
Listen,
sorry,
I mean,
apologize, man. That's who I am.
I know you said that. How did you phrase it at the beginning? Not the drafting part, but when you were talking about
I feel like drafting is what I was trying to say, by the way.
That's what you said. But when you were talking about how, I don't remember how you said it, so cut that part out. But here's the thing. This is a bipartisan bill, like you said. It's in front of Trump. Trump is now saying it was all geared up, ready to go. And then he's like, you know what? That bill, that act that y'all won't pass, like I'm throwing a temper tantrum and I'm putting my foot down and y'all better pass this act. So it's basically a non-issue, right? Because we know that voter fraud is not a real thing. A non-issue you're going to put in front of an actual issue that could help Americans, where Americans are suffering. But this is a president who said inflation is great. He thinks the war is great. And he doesn't care about affordability. Not a real thing to him. So this all makes sense, right? This is in line with I guess, prior hits, some of his greatest hits, if you're going to say that he had a mixtape. But the reason I could see it, like, well, it's not going to pass the Senate, right? They're not going to get rid of
pass the Senate.
The SAVE Act.
It's just not the votes.
They're not going to get rid of the filibustering.
Yeah.
It's like it's never going to happen. So maybe this bill will never happen either. But we did see something happen where he threw a temper tantrum behind closed doors also this week with the Senate because they wouldn't pass the war powers resolution. Like, wouldn't take the restrictions off.
Mad about, yeah.
And they took him off.
Right.
Just when we were applauding them for holding him accountable and saying, no, we're going to actually assert the power we have to stop you from contributing more to this war that you did on your own without our authority. We're going to stop you. So we're applauding them for actually having a backbone. And then behind closed doors at a lunch, he throws a temper tantrum and they say, okay, we're going to take those restrictions off and we're going to give you what you want. Yeah. So it's hard to say. I mean, like they could with SAVE Act, but the things that they have to do in the Senate, that's just never going to happen. It's not going to, I don't know what's going to happen with the bill because the SAVE Act just is not going to go through at the moment. And I don't see anything changing within the Senate, but I can't give Republicans credit because they folded.
Oh, I'm not looking to give them credit. The War Powers resolution, that stuff is actually just a little candy for the baby.
Yeah, but at least they put their foot down for a second.
Yeah, that now what they're saying is they're trying to deal with baby Huey and hope that they can get him to sign the housing deal by caving a little bit on the war powers. I mean, Cassidy and Trump were in there lobbing insults at one another.
Yeah, it's
but like what you got?
Well, I was just gonna say this is how you know it's just Trump's ego because what they're trying to pass isn't going to require any money, right? It's not costing them anything, and it would be a win. Like you already said, the Democrats will say it's a win for this reason, the Republicans will say it's a win for this reason. To be honest, the Republicans need a win going into the midterms, and this could be something that could be beneficial to the Republicans in general, something they can hang their hat on. But Trump does not care. He doesn't care. We know about the people. He doesn't care about the party. He only cares about himself, and his ego is getting in the way of even doing something that could be beneficial to him in the midterms, something that they could hang their hat on, like I said, or brag about. Doesn't even care about that.
I think it's even more than his ego. You're right, it is ego. You're right. But I think it's even more than his ego. I think Donald Trump is becoming increasingly, he always has been, but he's becoming increasingly both aloof to people's needs, right? Or aloof to even giving lip service to his base.
That part.
Okay. And more tense and quick-tempered with the people around him because I think that there's something existential happening. I think that for whatever reason, Donald Trump is in the middle of some existential crisis. He was walking down this thing to address, he was walking down the sidewalk on the side of the White House, whatever, to address the media. He was winded. Like he couldn't get his shit together. Like he's falling asleep everywhere. Like he's building monuments to himself. He's trying to get Dulles Airport named after him. A lot of these things, I'm just telling you guys, a lot of these things are things that people never get to see.
Yes.
You never get to see the airport named after you. You never get to see the big arch in your name. You never get to see those things. He's rushing and trying to get them done. And I'm telling you, even right now, if he loses power in November, he loses the ability to continue to push through stuff like this and get this stuff done and get all of this stuff done. And he doesn't feel like it's going to happen. I really do think right now that Donald Trump is in the middle of something. And part of this is him raging against the dying of the light. I'm being totally real with you. Like him raging against the dying of the light.
Well, I'm not going to say anything against that.
Not gonna say anything.
Not a thing. Not a thing.
Right,
yeah, well, I guess we'll see where this one goes.
Yeah. All right, we'll see. We'll see. Because like a lot of this stuff, people are talking and they're going like, look, the president is actually, he's actually more unhinged than even before.
It feels that way, though.
You used to be able to, even in the first term, they used to be able to manage him and pull him back from some of his worst decisions. Now they keep trying to placate him, to work with him, and he is just fucking him. He doesn't care. He cares about what people think. This is like the last gasp of Trumpism.
Yeah. I mean, he's still lying. Like, he's always going to lie. And some of it, I think that the lying is like, I actually think he believes these lies. Like, in his mind, he's like, no, this is exactly why this thing happened. But a lot of it, too, is he's not lying. He's just saying it out loud. No, I think this is great. No, I don't care about this. No, this is exactly what I want to do. And that speaks to the unhinged part of it where they can't control him anymore. I think he's just like, I'm going to say whatever I want to say and y'all clean it up.
All right, we're going to end on something sort of serious. I saw Ben Crump posted this. New CDC data shows young black men in America are dying by suicide at historic rates, with black males aged 16 to 19 now dying by suicide at a higher rate than their white peers for the first time since the federal government began tracking the data. Overall, suicide deaths among black Americans increased 53% between 2014 and 2024, a rate of increase more than 10 times faster than that of white Americans. The crisis is most severe among black men ages 20 to 24, whose suicide death rate reached 31.9 deaths per 100,000 people, the highest amongst any black age group. Mental health experts say factors including unreleased trauma, racism, economic issues, social isolation, and the lack of culturally competent mental health care. Probably some stigmatization in there around mental health as well that we continue to try to address. Experts also point to social media as a contributing factor, saying constant exposure to violence, trauma, and unrealistic comparisons can intensify feelings of hopelessness amongst young black men. Donnie, you are a husband and a father. What did you think when you read this?
It's disturbing. I always have, since I've been a father, I've had an existential dread about him growing up and him getting to the stage where he is no longer under my watch and he's out and free into the world. But this would actually, this is something that parents actively go through because these ages are young. These are young men who are taking their lives. So that brings that threat, I think, even closer to the present. And I mean, I don't know, because you do what you can. You do the best that you can. I'm doing the best that I can now to help him be a decent toddler and to help him grow into a decent boy and have that grow into a decent man. And I know that in a lot of these cases, the parents who are dealing with the impact of their child or their children taking their own lives did the best that they could. And this was something that still ended up happening. So I'm struggling to grasp with all of these things as a young parent. And it adds to the anxiety, but it also adds to, I think, my will to be the best parent that I possibly can, knowing that a lot of stuff is going to be out of my control. But yeah, first thing that comes to mind when I read this is disturbing, and it's disturbing in a very, very, very present sense.
Rach, what about you?
I saw this and I thought that this is devastating, and it's devastating for so many reasons. Obviously, I'm not a black man. I don't have brothers. I have fathers. I have uncles. I have cousins. I have friends. I have nephews. Mm-hmm. And, you can go through certain things, right? You can talk about, I'm sure, and even in reading off, as Donnie was reading this off, it's you can look at the compounding weight of unaddressed collective pain, I guess you can say, racial, social, economic. I mean, just last week, I'm in tears, right? And I'm crying over the loss of Well, it was a compounding number of things. I'm crying over the loss of a 1-year-old child that was shot Black. We're talking about Carmelo Anthony, and see it however way you see it, it's still the loss of someone's future, things that could have been different, things the way they were handled, the way the situation could be misunderstood, the way he was represented. And even you talking about, which again brought me to tears, was the realization that the laws in place or the defense in place, it doesn't really consider you because it's not your ground. And as millennials and Gen X, we grew up at a time where, not saying these things did not exist, but there was also more of a hopeful conversation of, like, I'll just say the American dream, not saying that I necessarily believe in that, but just like things to look forward to, things to grab, like things that felt like they were in your reach. This age group that they're particularly talking about, 20 to 24, I don't know if they've grown up or seen the same things in the way that we did. Again, I'm not saying those things did not exist. It's just the way that they've grown up, what they're able to access with social media. Obviously, that's a huge factor, but the way things might seem bigger or heavier on them because they are privy to more things and more connected in ways that we were more isolated with our communities and had more of a closeness that they don't necessarily have with this age group, 20 to 24, this Gen Z. It's just so sad, and I don't think that we're talking enough about it. And when I saw it, I wasn't shocked by it. I was just really saddened by it, because even when I talk about Cohen, when I talk about Carmelo, when we talk about some of these stories that we continue, tragedies, I should say, that we continue to talk about on the podcast, the running theme of it, the common denominator, I should say, with it is that it does not feel like your life is valued as a Black person, and I'll say Black men because that's what we're talking about. So if you don't feel valued and you aren't as connected and don't have the closeness that we had growing up, because certain things didn't exist in society that are more isolating, of course these young Black men are subjected to things in a lot heavier way. And then when I add on to that, okay, this is how they're feeling. Well, what do you do to help them? I think that there's an access gap. They don't have necessarily the access of the therapy or the counseling or some that other maybe demographics have more access to. So it's just like it's a really heavy thought, because there's so many things that contribute to the loss of Black men in this society, systemically, the environment, all of it, and now suicide you're adding to it. It's so sad.
So, of course, you know the story with Nick and the shotgun, right? We've talked about that. Right?
Yes.
But I think about that story. If you guys don't know the story, it's like one time I was laying down, very upset. I wasn't really upset. I wasn't sleeping. I hadn't slept in a long time. And like for me, my skin was on fire. It was a very bad time. And I was like, I'm laying down in my bed and I go like, how long can I do this? Like, how long can I live this particular way? It just felt like I would never be the regular happy-go-lucky Van again. I just thought that was gone. Like, how long can I do this? And then I started laughing. I'm like, that was a legit ideation, right? Like, that was like I legitimately thought about it for a second. So then like I talked to my therapist, and my therapist, like, shout out to Coley, she goes, okay, well, you have your shotgun. Your shotgun is what you looked at. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, take this shotgun. Yeah, you can keep the gun. But she was like, give all of the ammunition away to someone who you know you can trust. I gave my ammunition to Nick May, who is somebody that I trust. Somebody that will take care of people, that takes care of everyone around him. They can talk a lot of shit, but he's the most reliable person in this entire city. Nick May. That's who I gave my shotgun ammunition to. He still has it. And I think about all of that stuff. I think about that. And I think about the immense amount of privilege that I had during that situation. I had a therapist to ask about. I had the wherewithal, based upon the point in my life that I was at, to be able to realize and recognize what was happening to me. Like, be able to say that was an ideation, right? And then I had a friend that I could take my shotgun ammunition to. Then I had a car to be able to get in and drive over there and take it to him. Then I had like standing and stature. I know that I'm valuable. So many young men don't have that. So many young men, it's legitimately the only thing that they can turn to is the means of their own demise. It's the only thing that they're talking to. Nobody's talking back. That is why when we have conversations about male loneliness and about isolation amongst males, we have got to be more sensitive and caring. We have to. And I say this knowing full well, actually not knowing full well. Let me say that again. I say this not knowing what it must be like to live in a society, this is to you and to you, that is always centering males, always centering what men are going through. That we have to talk about how men are going, like how society around men is like that. I get that. That's complete bullshit. But this conversation is real.
Yeah.
And this conversation, particularly about these young guys, that's why I say, hey, call me trash. I'll be trash. I have to talk to them because we talk a lot about life, but we never talk about living. Living happens every day, happens every second. Living is not just going to college. Living is getting up and going to the subway at your college. And how do you feel? Living is getting up and going to the drugstore or getting up and going to the bookstore at your college and having somebody follow you around. Living, it happens every single second. And you have to do that on purpose. You have to exist on purpose. You have to exist with purpose. And you have to know that you have purpose. And you have to know that finding a purpose can be a purpose in and of itself. Mm-hmm. I'm looking for my purpose is one of the most delicious thoughts that one could have. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is yet, but I know that it's there and I'm looking for it. But all of that has to do with a quality of life and an understanding of how this world orients around you and where you fit in your family and your culture and your spot in this universe, that it is just very important for these young brothers to have. And it's just so much pulling at them. Young men, young women, black people, period. There's just so much pulling at them. I'm not militant enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not making enough money. I have an opinion. Everybody attacks me for their opinion. I have a thought. It's wrong. I dropped. It's whack. We are feasting on each other. Mm-hmm. And I know that this is coming from a podcast that exists in critique of people sometimes, but I try my best. The only thing I pray for, I pray for my hair to come back. But the only thing I pray for other than that is I pray that I am being compassionate. I pray for compassion. I pray for empathy. And we just got to care. Mm-hmm. Like we got to care. Because I tell you something, the ones that's not harming themselves, they harming somebody else. And we've been here. And we've talked about it and we've seen what happens. So these numbers, with the way we're just on this, I'm looking at this on the shit. I'm looking at all of the other shit and all of this other stuff. We're talking about all of these conversations. We're not even people no more. We algorithms. I saw something that said the fucking app knows when I'm looking at it. The app knows, the fucking Meta knows when I'm looking at my phone. They know, not when I'm scrolling, they know when my eyes are trained on the phone. We just not controlling these brains anymore, and we got to figure out a way to get in control of them again. I don't got too much to say. I just tell you something, man. If you are a human being, I love you. If you a young black human being, I really love you. Like, if you a young black person out there, I love you so much it hurts, man. And I want the best for you. That's it. Rach, you got anything more to say about Congresswoman Crockett before we leave? You got any parting shots?
I'm fresh out.
See how I just did it? I did all of that shit that I came right back to it.
I'm fresh out.
Well, I love you if you old too, but
what?
You kind of had your chance. No, I'm just joking. I just want to see these kids get a chance to laugh and love. That's why I watch that show forever. I love that show. I
love that show so much.
Thank you, Mara, for young black people in love with Wood Harris I love that show. Thank you for young black people with great skin. They got a good skin regimen on that show.
It's beautiful. When season 2 drops, we gotta have some of them come
love
through. It's
that
so good.
show. Love to see young black people.
I cried in it.
You like that shit?
Oh, I loved it. It's been a long time since I fell in love with 2 characters like that.
Yeah,
Probably since Lawrence and Issa.
Lawrence and Issa. What happened at the end of Insecure?
They got married.
Lawrence and Issa got married?
Yeah, and had a baby.
I actually didn't realize this.
Or wait,
No,
did they have a baby? That was his baby.
That was his
baby with
baby,
the other person. But
she
they got
became stepmom.
So
She
I
what?
saw one thing where she shot the baby like Kobe.
Oh yeah, that
Very
happens
funny
in the
episode.
show, but it's like a thought of hers.
I need to watch the last season.
That's
It's
a
so
very
good.
funny.
I
Yeah.
need to watch the last season.
I loved them so much.
All right, take your thing caps off, but do not stop learning. I'm Van Lathan Jr.
I'm Rachel and Lindsay. Bye, guys.